help you to make that green. Yo, they gotta let your crypto king showing you how to invest and live your dreams. So for those of you who wanna make that change, you need some crypto to help you to make that green. Yo.
You're on mute, bro. Unless it's me. Can you guys hear me? Damn, bro, you messed my whole intro, my whole. Hey, because Ian Heinisch, some reason, got a screwed up microphone. I think that intro goes so damn hard. He fucked his whole shit up. So therefore, you just got me, your boy, B Roast, back at it again with another YouTube, like we used to call it, Shill Tube. Somehow Ian is having trouble getting in here. He's having mic issues. Chopped it. Nah, I didn't chop nothing. We're actually going to go through the pretty much until we get bored, the whole debate. Now, it was a 6-hour show, but we are not going to go over all 6 hours. I am not doing that again. Absolutely not. But I am going to go over the debate style. So probably like an hour to an hour and a half, it was just all debates. And then we had about, Buck tried to shit on meme coins for 2 hours. That wasn't working. B-Roots wasn't having that. Nah, that's not working. Tried to shit on our meme coins. Nope. And then we had a Q&A that just kept going. So many people just kept coming in doing the Q&A. So therefore, Ian, what is wrong with your stuff, bro? Hold on. Add you to the stream. Can't hear you, bro. Why don't you do the microphone through your headphones instead of that bootleg microphone you got going on there? Still can't hear you. Do the audio through your microphone. Anyways. So, yes, the let's until he comes in here, I'm gonna share the screen and we're just gonna get started right away. And we're just gonna recap it. And anytime I stop it, I'm just going to talk and just explain what was going on, what was my logic, what was my thinking, and why your boy B Roots won the debate. That's simple. So let's get this thing started. I don't know what's going on with Ian. Here, I'll try to bring you in. Add to stream. Talk. Nah, bro, your mic is still. Listen, dude. There you go. I heard you. It's your bootleg freaking. Yeah, bro. Go through your headphones. God, you're killing the numbers. All right, so here we go. We're going to share the screen here. Twitter. Bam, there it is. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna let Katie chime in if she wanted to, but I can definitely chime in there.
Are you guys able to hear that? Just let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Any more? Can anybody hear it? Can anybody hear it? All right, audio is great. Perfecto. Let's try to get Ian back in here. Ian? Stop trying to go through your microphone. Go through. Let me talk to this dude on this freaking. Hold on, guys. I got a noob. Call him on the phone real quick. Let everybody hear him talk and complain. He doesn't know he's on speaker.
Bro, I don't have an Apple. I can't hook up headphones to this.
You don't have an Apple. What the hell are you working with?
Dude, I have a streaming computer. Just give me 1 second, man.
You obviously don't have a streaming computer. You ain't streaming, bro.
Just do TA right now, and I'll be right in. All right.
He mad. He want to do TA. All right, yo. Let's do some TA real quick first, then, since Ian's all upset. We're going to start off with Bitcoin because there are some pretty crazy things going on with Bitcoin right now. I'm all joking aside. It actually looks very good what's happening right now with Bitcoin. And what I'm seeing here, present, square screen, BTC. As we can see, it's going back up off of this. So what we're actually forming here, as you can see on the weekly time frame, we're actually forming a bull flag, which is actually bullish. So I would expect though this thing to break out within the next week or so. If not, I do believe we go back to test lower levels. But I think this is bullish. The fact that Bitcoin didn't just reject from being here, like for example, right here, where we went up and then just instantly got rejected. Usually when we go up, we get instantly rejected if we're not doing it. If we go up and just start kind of like chilling, it's a good thing. You know, like I like seeing up and chill and chill and chill. Kind of like this. We went up, we kind of chilled a little bit, hung around here, and then bam, next move up. So that's what I like to see is when we go up and we chill. Because when we go up and chill, that means another big elevator up, and we're slowly taking like the stairs down. Usually during the bear market, it is stairs up, elevator down, stairs up, whoop, stairs up, whoop. Now we're seeing the reverse of that. Elevator up, stairs a little bit, elevator up, stairs down a little bit, elevator up, and that's what we're seeing right now. Stairs down a little bit, and then hopefully elevator up, probably get declined by this, come down to here, and then once again, we're in that October, November area. And this is another reason why I believe that Pulsechain will be a 10x by October and November. If we get into this area where the traditional markets sell in May, go in way, and they usually come back in September. Usually we'll see that, still can't hear you, Ian. Usually we'll see that, you know, that big rise up. And then during this time, if we're up in this area, flirting with this area, well, guess what? I believe, you know, if Bitcoin does another $10,000 in market cap and price, we're going to see another a big leg up in Pulsechain. 5x, definitely, in my opinion, for sure. 10x, very possible. If not, I mean, we're doing a lot of accumulating on Pulsechain. So I'm on the side of it. There you go. Welcome to the stream, bro.
Oh my gosh, bro. What the heck is going on?
Got that bootleg system you got over there. Start using Apple products, bro.
I know. Well, listen, man, it's a streaming computer, right? It was the first one I got. Let's just hold on. We just got to do it.
For those of you who want to make that change, you need some crypto to help you to make that green. Yo, they gotta let your crypto king, showing you how to invest to live your dreams. So for those of you who want to make that change, you need some crypto to help you to make that green. Yo.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Crypto Kings live stream. I just had to restart that for you guys so we can just get back in it. We have a good show for you guys today.
Bro. It was like a frozen thing.
Bro, we had to restart that. If you guys are new to the show or it's your first time joining, make sure you guys smash that like button. Consider subscribing as well, guys. If you're not living under a rock, you probably saw one of the longest streams that B-Roots has ever done. It was a
Bro.
great debate with Buck.
I already did the intro, man.
All right.
Ain't nobody trying to hear you talk the intro again, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear.
No, I'm trying to reset the room.
You ain't no. This is his Twitter Spaces, bro. This shit is recorded. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit no more.
Dude, I couldn't hear anything. I didn't know if you were talking or what, dude. And I was just talking to you before we went live.
I mean, we're already on TA. You come in here trying to barge in like we gonna start it all over. Hit the intro, like what? Like what? We already conversing,
bro. We needed to reset, man. We needed to reset, refocus, and relax. And now we're ready to go. B-Roots, you're in your TA. Sorry to interrupt.
This is what happens when you put two athletes in the room together. It's just the one comes barging in thinking he the hot shit. No, and he gonna try to reset the room on his own. Like we already 13 minutes in the stream. This dude like
all right, well then continue with your TA, guys. You know what the show's about. You saw the title. Let's see what TA is saying, and then let's get into the commentary of the recap.
All right. Anyways, as I was saying, we got over here, by the time we get into October, November, when the sell in May going away happens, usually the fall going into the fourth quarter is bullish for traditional markets. And I do feel that, that can play a case in Pulsechain. And you're starting to see that in Pulsechain right now. Compared to 2 weeks ago, there's a lot more bullish nature going on. Now we understand what RH is doing and not doing. I don't want to get into that. That will probably be Friday's stream where we talk about that. But the price is going up and people are getting a little more bullish, I believe. I mean, the sentiment on Pulsechain is positive, in my opinion. And then the sentiment of Hex going up is positive. So right now, the community is in a positive nature. If we go up another tick to 0.002, trust me, the buys are going to start coming in. You know why? Because people chase green candles. There's nothing that I don't say months and months and months ago that I'm not going to say today, because it all still applies, in my opinion. So everything is the same as the last time we went over this. Nothing's changed, in my opinion. Just a bam, bull flag. Hopefully we come up to here by August. Probably will get declined because, as I say all the time, once you test the line, you're going to get declined from it. See how he tested, went above it, bam, that got declined from it. I expect that anywhere here from July to October time, where you come up in here and get rejected. Hopefully we come up here and then come up here earlier, get rejected, just to come up here during the October and November, get to the next spot, and then a good rejection, probably a hard rejection, only to come back and get ready for the halving. That's your TA. Bam. So yeah, man, let's go. Let's get right to the point, man. The debate. What do you think about that debate? What did you think?
It was good, man. Because it not only, obviously we've been talking about Pulsechain, and I got to see, hear a lot about, reasons why it's going to really send, 100,000x plus. But it was good to hear like another side of it, just to kind of bring you back to earth a little bit. But at the same time, you kind of trapped him. The debate took a while, but you continued to. I felt you trapped Buck in some places. Buck had some really good points at times, though. Just saying why he believes, but he didn't really consider the tokenomics, the burning. It made me kind of see a different side of what traditional markets would think about it, but also we are in crypto. And that's kind of what really drove home your debate and what really won you, I thought, the argument, because you kept bringing up the past and he wanted to bring up traditional finance. That's his background. But, you made it very clear that this is the trend, and the trend is your friend until it's broken. And we're still on the trend, man. And this is a hyped layer one. And then I thought you came in at the end with, hey, this is Richard Hart. He's on a mission to make millionaires, to make people, to get the clout. And, that kind of just drove it home at the end with your argument.
Yeah, I think that what happened was what he doesn't realize. And I think he's been in this space for a while. But every trader and investor that comes from the traditional market that I have been, in talks with, always say, man, I got to kind of learn all over again because the traditional market stuff doesn't work in this market. It just doesn't work. It's two different types of markets. It's more volatile. It's crazier. So when you try to bring that traditional market analysis to the table, it's easy. It's not even. It's very easy. For me, where Buck lost it all when the dude said there isn't a 4-year cycle. Right there, I was like, bro. Oh, this is over. Like, you got issues, bro. You come up in here talking about I don't believe in a 4-year cycle.
What did he say, 8 years or something?
Yeah, it was like, well, the traditional market thing. Let's just get to the thing, man. Let's just get to it and go with it for those who didn't heard. So they're going to see a shorter version of this. So let's just talk about it. And let me share the screen here. And anytime you want to stop it, man, just stop it and just and we can start talking about it.
Yes, sir.
10x. I think a 10x is possible. I think a 10x is excellent, and I think everybody should update their worldview.
We're gonna stop it right there.
I was about to stop it, bro.
We gotta stop it right there. I think a 10x is great, and I think everyone should update their worldview. Bro, I got a 10x in Pepe, like so many 10x's on Pulsechain. Yeah, that's great. But not for a pre-sale. If I get a 10x in a pre-sale, I'm pissed. And when's the last time you heard Richard Hart brag about a 10x in anything in crypto? EOS did a 50x during the bear market. The biggest freaking raise. If you think that Pulsechain was a big raise, $1 billion, EOS raised $4 billion and did a 50x for its freaking private sale investors. And a 10x is great.
Well, and it just shows, man, like such traditional finance. Well, Buck, like you did bring some good points. I think you're very intelligent, man. I just want to, say I'm not like throwing crazy shade because the guy's very successful. I think his project's going to do well. However, Buck, not everyone has millions of dollars where a 10x is like huge. And especially this is a layer one. This is a layer one from a man. Look at the trend. Let's look at the trend again. What was Richard Hart's last project? That did a 10,000x. You think he's going to be happy with a 10x? Heck no. And also, this is a layer one. Hex is more of a staking, but it's more of a meme coin. This is a layer one. This is something that's going to get built on. The tokenomics, the built-in marketing, a 10x would be an absolute failure, in my opinion. If it did 100x, would honestly be surprising if it didn't go up 100x in this bull cycle, in my opinion.
100% agree. 100% agree. Check the text message real quick. All right, let's continue.
About a 10x actually being like a pretty impressive result. It's not necessarily the best that we can do. I think we could do a lot more than that. But yeah, I think the odds of us doing 100x are comparatively much smaller.
Now remember that, people. 10x to 100x. That's a big ass gap. Just gonna put that. But remember that comment. Remember that comment. We will come back to that. I think it could do a lot more. So he goes, 10x is what I think it would do. I think it could do a lot more. 100x is a small possibility.
And
so where do you
just real quick? I'll keep it super quick. Just that makes me think with the verbiage of him using the 100x and the 10x, it makes me think he has enough amount of money that he is probably taking massive profit at a 10x and leaving a moon back.
This is why I say, folks, 10x is going to have a major correction. Like, he just called his own position, bro. Major correction.
I know his wallet.
Be ready for that.
Yeah, so go ahead.
When you say it can do much more, what do you think are sort of the kind of really rosy scenarios, Moon King? Like what would be a really like a amazing outcome for Pulsechain in terms of returns over, let's say, a 3-year cycle? That gets us to the.
Now remember that comment that he doesn't believe in a cycle. What do you think it does in that 3-year cycle? So we're going to come back to that too.
To the end of the next bull run.
What
would be your guess?
My guess, once again, not financial advice, people, but my guess would be anywhere from a 100x minimum to half of Ethereum's market cap at the top of the market.
And how much upside do you think is in Ethereum?
I think Ethereum goes to anywhere from a $1.2 billion market cap all the way up to a $1.6 billion market cap. It will top out, in my opinion, it will top out exactly the way Bitcoin topped out, as I called it back in 2019, 2 years prior to the top of the Bitcoin market. I said that Bitcoin would top out at a $1.2 million market cap, and I believe it did just that. So kudos to me for calling it 2 years prior. And I think that Ethereum will do the exact same thing, and that could range anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000, depending on burning.
First off, I gotta roast myself real quick, because boy, did I kill them damn numbers, man.
Oh, bro, I was listening. I was like, dude, I need to text him, or like I was like looking for the unmute button to like talk to you, because I'm used to like being on Chill Tank with you. But I was like, damn. And then Katie came in and let you know.
Yeah, she came in and I was like,
very kindly.
I said I did say billion, didn't I? I was like, oh shit. So yeah, it was definitely trillion. 1.2 trillion. So why do I say 1.2 trillion? People, it's simple. People take profits at even numbers, just like he said, 10x. 10x, 20 to 25x, 50x, 100x, and then it starts the cycle all over again. 150x, 200x, 250x, 500x, 1000x. It goes in those profits, or in those take profit scenarios. It does the same thing for market caps. $1 million market cap, $5 million market cap, 3's one, $10 million market cap. Then it goes
100.
to 20, then it does 30, then it does 50, then it does 100, and then it does 150, and then 250. It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
The higher market caps do the exact same thing. So when you're sitting in between, 1 trillion market cap is like the big one. Whoa, we made it. But what happens is, why do I say 1.2 to 1.6? There is a liquidity spike that is needed so you're able to cash out more money. When you goes over the 1 trillion and back down and goes right back over 1 trillion, it will go higher than that. They will push it higher than that. Because what are the average Joe person thinking? Oh, it's going way further than this. And then more people put more money, it goes to about 1.2, anywhere from 1.2 to 1.6. And then boom, that's when you see that big drop. And they just basically tricked everybody from putting the money in. And that's how people buy tops. When you see people say, I bought the top, it's because they see it going further than that even number, and they FOMO'd in, and then they end up getting wrecked. That's how people buy tops.
Yeah. And I just want to touch on Pulse Bag saying, I called Hex a meme coin. Hey, man, I think even Bitcoin, when it first came out, was a meme coin. Obviously, it became a lot more than a meme coin, bro. Like if you listen to our streams before, basically all coins start out kind of as a meme coin. There's utility coins as well, but that's just my opinion with Hex. But obviously, it's a ERC20 with a lot of utility as far as the staking, but it kind of started out as a meme coin, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So keep it going.
Here we go.
Just
Okay.
one
All right.
minor
So
correction. I do think you mean trillion, Moon King, not billion.
Yes, trillion. Yeah, sorry. If I said billion, that's not what I meant. Trillion.
yeah. Thanks for that, Kate. I was confused as well. Yeah. Okay. So you think Ethereum has a 5x in it, basically, is what you're saying in the next
Rounding
cycle.
up. Yeah, I think it will get to 10,000, and I do think usually in markets, 20% higher than what everyone is thinking. That rounded number usually happens. That's a good way to trap people, as you may know in traditional markets. Good way to trap people to think it's going even higher, and then they use that liquidity to draw the market down. So that's why I gave it 1.2 to 1.6 trillion.
Yeah. Okay. So like I think a 5x in Ethereum is doable. I think it's hard, but yeah, it's definitely doable over a 3-year time horizon.
So when you say doable, though, like what do you think if you had to put your own money down and you're going to take some profit on Ethereum, what would that number be?
Yeah. So I like to think probabilistically.
You think that's good to do it at a 1.5x? Is that too fast?
I think it's good. Let's just try it for a minute. If it gets too
if
fast.
anyone, yeah.
So when I look at these different outcomes that we're talking about, obviously the ranges of probability are pretty wide, right? So it's quite possible that you could be looking at a scenario where Ethereum is actually down over 3 years. So maybe that the odds of that are maybe 10%, 20%, right? And you should think about that stuff. And then there's probably
he is correct when he says you should think about that stuff just in case it happens. That's his traditional thinking, his traditional mind thinking. And it is a possibility, but it's a very small possibility based off of history. Now, when you're playing with the type of money that he is probably playing with, you need to put that number a little higher. And that's the difference between what most people are playing with and what probably someone like himself that is a little more conservative playing with. Because they don't want to put, anyone that's putting $10,000 and trying to become a millionaire is going to go for it all, and they don't care. It's either like I'm going in or all out. I'm putting it all in. I don't care if it sits there for 3 hours. I'm all in or all out. So with how what he says, if I'm putting like $1 million, $2 million, $5 million in, I need to think about whether or not I can actually get that 10x, which is what he's looking for, obviously, or where I can, what happens if it just chills for 3 years. So that is a bigger situation to the person with that much money versus the person that's just trying to degen and go far. All right.
He's saying it's a little too fast. Do 1.25.
I don't think you can. I think it's either normal.
All right, then just do 1. That's fine.
Okay, that's it.
20% odds where it's maybe up 10 times or something like that. And then sort of a central scenario I would say is that it doubles over the next 3 years. And I think that's pretty realistic from my standpoint, and I don't think that's crazy. But
from my standpoint,
I just want to understand where the difference in sizing comes. So, like, you think if we do a 5x on Ethereum, Pulsechain is going to do 100x?
Minimal, yes.
Yeah,
minimal.
I mean,
like that's the minimum side of it, and how I go about it is I'm going through the history of crypto. Now, I do understand you come from the financial side of things, and you think of that probability-wise of the low end staying down for 3 years. Like, that to me is a chance. That's not happening. Well, I won't say zero. I'll never say never. 1%. 1% chance of happening.
Bro, it ain't staying where it's staying. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. Like, it's ready. Like, Ethereum is ready to burst to the next level. Just like I showed you the charts with Bitcoin, It's in the bull flag. It's bullish. It's ready to go to the next level, which brings all altcoins to the next level, which is going to bring everything else pulls along with it.
So you're saying Pulse is going to pop pretty soon?
Pulse can pop too. Pulse looks like it's ready to pop. Pulsechain is almost to my point, like the only thing holding it back, in my opinion, the sellers are done. If you wanted to sell, you sold Pulsechain. Like you've already sold. You're not guessing whether or not you're going to sell at this time. At this point, really, the only thing holding back is Richard trying to figure out whether or not he wants to add things to the pool. No, that's it.
Yeah,
and that kind of has people on like edge on whether they want to buy to get in to do that. Outside of that, everyone is sold already, man. Same thing with Ethereum. Ain't nobody selling Ethereum. Ain't nobody selling Bitcoin hard right now. Yeah, the bear market's over, folks. Like I want you know, like it's been over a long time ago. I called it last summer. It's around this time last summer, a year ago. And people say, oh, well, it went lower. Well, if you like Richard Hart and you said his first call to the top was a double top when it went over to the second top, well, guess what? I'm right, because when you get a longer chart, that's going to look like a double bottom because it hit 17.5 and went up, and then it hit 15.5 and then it went up. The further we go out into the chart, it's going to look like a double bottom. So if you think Richard Hart's right, then I'm right. And
it's kind of funny, Gugad is saying, you know, traditional market finance guys are bearish. He's had some experience. We both have with our boy. We love the guy, Dom Ryder, the dev of VEMP, but he was so bearish, bro. The conversations I had with him, he was talking about a 2K Bitcoin, 2K. And we were freaking out, bro. Like, you know, I mean, he had all these reasons, bonds and this and that. And, you know, all I got to say is B-Roots was right. It didn't even go, you know, it didn't even get to his 10K and pray, even close to that. It hit 15.5. And B-Roots, you said 17 something, 17.4.
17.5, 17.4, I think.
And it just wicked under that 300-week moving average and just got bought up. You didn't even have a chance to buy that 15.5. And we see just traditional finance people. There just seem to be more bearish. Maybe they have trauma from 2008. I don't know. They're going off the traditional market and not this new industry, which is cryptocurrency.
Yeah. And as they come in, here's the thing. They get wrecked. Welcome to the club, because they're not the big boys in the actual market. You know, the people that were in here since 2008 are the big boys. The people that were mining are the big boys. They're the big boys. They run this market, to be honest with you. So when they run this market, when they sell the tops and get more of the coin that they got, they actually control the market until your big guys buy it and pump our bags big enough to where we're willing to sell it. Then they can have it. And that's probably going to happen over the next cycle or two. Go ahead, you can have it. Have your little gains. Enjoy your gains. Enjoy your 10x gains. You know why? Because I'll be sitting on a beach, just
and they're coming.
Watching the sea turtles go over here while you're getting your little 5 to 10x gains. I've been in this game for 9.5 years and soon to be out.
So I almost feel like, Beards, that the powers above, the elites, the rich club, you know, like the real top people, they want it to only be 5 to 10x gains, just because then it controls us from getting rich. Because when we get to something like a 10,000x, 34,000x, something crazy, we only got to put in a couple $100. Bam, we're a millionaire. These guys, they put in big money, they get smaller gains, but it's with the big money, it accumulates, and that basically takes away from the average Joe of getting rich. They don't want that. They don't want that old money coming down to the new guys, to your average Joes. And you know, eventually Bitcoin will be controlled. I believe it. All these ETFs getting approved. You got JP Morgan, all the big players, they're coming. Hopefully we get our bags pumped for this cycle and we freaking sail off into the sunset and maybe dabble around in the next couple cycles. But
his mindset, you were right. His mindset is the exact same mindset of the traditional market. If I'm BlackRock and I put $5 billion in right now, bam, pop that bad boy up from 25,000 to 30,000. That could have been bam, $5 billion. All I need is a 3x, 90,000 market cap, or 90,000 Bitcoin. 15 billion. That's more money than I made in 3 years. Like
that's stupid money.
That return or whatever, like for your say that's just 5% of their company. And they just grew 5% by just putting in $5 billion in 3 years. Like that's nothing.
And that's nothing to them, aren't they? I think they're like evaluated around $3 trillion company.
Yeah.
So think about that. That's $300 billion.
And then they sell that, and it goes back to 25,000. So there's a higher low, and then they put back in 15 billion. Bam, it goes from 25,000 to 35,000, and then it goes to 120 million or $120,000 Bitcoin. It's pretty just like question. That, like same, just repeating the same process, but the gains, the crazy gains, become over.
And this is actually a really good question. I know we're not really doing it, but this came up good. But the gains and the X's are getting smaller by year. Is it because more people learn the game?
Yeah, think about
that's part of it.
Someone like Buck, he comes in and he's like 10x.
G.
Well, that's sell pressure. G alert. G alert.
And that's a big G.
Like, but that's okay, man. That is okay.
And that gives you a dip.
There's more of the power in numbers. There's more of the power in numbers. So they buy that dip up and keep it up. And here's the thing: he does not escape from FOMO. So just because he's from the traditional market, don't mean he ain't holding coins just in case, or not just in case. When I'm right. He's gonna have a bag, so just know. So, and also I think that what happens is you guys get scared and sell listening to him. So be careful with that too. Let's start up.
No, it's much higher. It's much higher than that.
Scenario that you're talking about that we're agreeing on, like way more chance that that's happening. The 10x scenario, that's maybe.
I'm gonna like speed past my scenario because you guys know how I think, and as he talks, I'm pretty much going to say what I think, the way I think. So therefore, you're not just listening to me talk. Like,
and also, people, I see some really good questions. We're gonna save it till like after the recap. Yeah, I do see some really good questions, and we will go over that.
Write them down because it's gonna be harder to find them later. So just write them down if you see something. Good.
I'll find it.
Maybe 5 to 10% chance. I don't think that's happening either. I don't think you'll see a 20,000 Ethereum this cycle.
Right.
And
but just devil's advocate there. In the past it's done more. So why can't it just keep doing what's done in the past?
So I'll be real quick with this. It's very easy. The person said it earlier. The gain, the tops, the X's are getting smaller and smaller. It's that simple. That shouldn't even be a question. Like that's just the charts say that. So,
see, this is where I'm gonna get you, brother.
I warned them that I was gonna get them because I've got this stuff like.
That's what you do.
Yeah, it's what I do all day.
Because I go off of history, and when you look at the history of Bitcoin. It's what Richard Hart says, and he's 100% correct. The gains are getting smaller. So what you saw with Ethereum, the gains are getting smaller. So all it did from 2018.
Why are the gains getting smaller?
Well, the X's from the point is getting smaller. It's the third cycle. So you're looking at the amount of money it takes for it to go up. It's harder to push that up, and that's happening on Ethereum as of the last bull market. It topped in 2018 at $1,400 roughly.
Well, I mean, I don't worry.
Okay, it's all good.
Okay.
1446, whatever exchange you look at, and it literally only did 3.5x, 2.5x from its all-time high of 2018. So right there, that is actually on par of what Bitcoin did from its 2017 to 2018 top. So you're seeing something that's in its third cycle starting to get smaller gains, but in its first cycle, it smashed it as far as gains. So when and that all depends on how you look at it. You can also say, well, from the bottom, it went to $90, and then you got those gains as it went up. But I'm just looking at from the top. what did it do from the top of one bull market to the top of the next bull market? And the gains are getting smaller. So there's no way in 2021 it tops out at $4,600. That's going to come around and say, let me do a 10x now. I don't care what you say, what's happening. The market is not going to do that because it hasn't done that. The chances of that happening is extremely small because it hasn't done it with Bitcoin. And the richest man as Richard Hart says, the richest man has already bought Bitcoin, and that didn't even 10x Bitcoin. So it's not going to do it to Ethereum also because the burning is not happening that fast, that crazy. So I don't think it happens with Ethereum. But Pulsechain, on the other hand, you ready for this? Pulsechain, on the other hand, is not in its first cycle. Or excuse me, in its third cycle. It's in its first cycle. So the hype is there. The here's another thing. Who owns 95% of Ethereum?
Oh, that cut out.
Not in OA. Who owns 90% of Bitcoin? Not Satoshi. So there are different factors. There are different tokenomics that allows Pulsechain to do things that others weren't able to do. And I know what you're going to say. We're already sitting at $1 billion market cap, and there are other features that will allow that to happen also. So,
yeah, cool. So I think you're exactly right with what you just said there. That's exactly what I'm going to say. So,
already know the man before he starts saying it. I know everyone's arguments, and he does make a good point, but we're going to break it down to why he's wrong.
So the number of cycles that you've done doesn't matter so much when you think about the potential.
Right there, wrong. I've already came with the history telling you why it does matter, because the more cycles you get, the adoption curve is harder to push up a price. Bitcoin has showed that. How many more people are going to come in after them to keep pushing that price up? Ethereum has done it. The gains are getting up. But what happened during Bitcoin's first few cycles? Whoa. What happened during Ethereum? 30 cents to literally 1,400. Whoa. It's that simple. Like the proof is already there in the charts. The proof is in the pudding. Every single coin coming after that literally does the exact same thing. So that comment saying that it doesn't have to do that and they all don't act the same way, in my opinion, is incorrect.
Yeah, I agree. And the crazy thing is what was the first cycle of Ethereum? How many X's did it do?
It did
14. Was it 14,000?
14? No, it did not do 14,000.
Oh, okay, no, that was currently.
If you talk from the sacrifice or the ICO price, it did a 4,664X. If you do it from the low on one exchange, you are able to buy that at 15 cents. I believe at the time it was Poloniex. So if you take that price and was able to scoop that up, which took very little chance, I'm sure the exchange got it and no one else got it. But if you were able to get that, you got a 9,640X. But what everybody was able to get if they participated in the ICO and got in was a 4,664X.
Wow. So just to think that, why is it so hard for him to think that Pulsechain can at least 1,000X this cycle? Like I get
market cap. Like that's his reasoning. Is market cap.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's reason too. I hear about that a lot, but they don't realize, the burning supply, the number one wallet holder, and there's just some other factors in that besides just, the market cap is a little higher.
Real quick. I would like to know.
Oh, and then we lost B Roots. Let me go ahead and then bring up the Twitter, see if we can keep it going. Man, this show, we are having some technical difficulties today. Let's see here. Let me bring up the stream. You share the screen. What up, Mando? Oh, and B-Roots is back.
Wrong button.
I thought we were having technical difficulty. I'm like, bro, we are both struggling today. This is what happens when two athletes are trying to mess with computers. Now, B-Roots is ahead of me on this, but that's what happens.
I wanted to check to see what the market cap of Ethereum was when it first came out. So Ethereum's market cap when it first came out was a $100 million market cap. So you ready for this?
I can hear your wait, hold on. That's
what?
Me. No, never mind.
You ready for this? If the market cap of Ethereum was 10 times less than the market cap of Pulsechain, you could literally say the adoption curve is going to be 10 times less than that. And there you have a 466x. Not to mention, you ready for this? There are way more people in crypto than there was back then. Way more people.
But there's also more coins.
There's more coins, but here's a kicker. Here's a kicker. The amount of money, the whole market cap was like maybe $1 billion market cap. We're in the trillions. We're also 10 times more money. So you when you think of that, you're not thinking like, all right, let's just say we don't have maybe the amount that Ethereum has. So we take that 4660 and let's just say instead of 10 times more, let's say 50 times more. That's still a 93x. That's my 100x basically. So instead of Ethereum had 50 times more adoption than we had, you're looking at 100x. I think because there's more money in crypto, there's more money coming again this cycle. We topped out at what, a $2-3 trillion market cap. We have another 3 trillion, in my opinion, coming into the market from the previous high of the last market. So that makes me say, just on that alone, you're wrong.
I mean, listen, man, we got more money coming in, but we also have more projects, more options out there. There's more mouths to feed. However, you got a project like Pulsechain, man. And that's why just when I think about it, when I dive into it, I think the built-in marketing is so genius of Richard Hart, of giving people free copies of the PRC20. That's what I think is like the home run and just like the X factor. You already have the built-in community. You already have a bunch of millionaires from Hex coming over to Pulsechain, really believing in Richard Hart's products. And now everyone has a free 1-for-1 copy, and that will bring in the outside. And then on top of that, you got the lower gas fees, which will bring in retail because it's going to be a lot cheaper to ape. And when people miss coins on ETH, they'll be able to come over on Pulsechain and give it a second chance for pennies on the dollar to pay gas fees to ape in 50, 100, 200, $1,000. And that's why I believe the volume will come in. That's just my opinion on that. And I mean, we could go really deep into that, but that for me is the X factor.
Yeah. Let's continue it. Let's see it.
All right, let's go.
You can see in
Potential
you can hear this
upside of a project. The number of cycles doesn't matter.
You hear that?
Yep.
Oh man, I gotta go back to that.
No, it started over.
Yeah. No, it didn't start over. He just said something just so crazy.
Pulsechain to do things that others weren't.
What you just said there. That's exactly what I'm going to say. So the number of cycles that you've done doesn't matter. When you think about the potential upside of a project, the number of cycles doesn't matter. If you're ICP and you launch at number 4 token at the top of the bull market, which a lot of you guys remember when it just sort of showed up out of nowhere at a enormous multi-$100 billion valuation. It doesn't matter that you're a brand new token.
Let's talk about ICP right now. So ICP was funded by Alameda. ICP was a VC funded project. All they did was give everyone the tokens to dump over time. So basically what happened was, if you were dumb enough to buy the top, you got demolished. That has nothing to do with the market cap and why it kept going higher. The point is, if I'm up 1,000x from my pre-sale and I have my tokens, damn straight I'm gonna dump that. Why wouldn't I? And that's why that happened. It had nothing to do with why it couldn't go higher. It's just the fact that it was freaking dumped from the beginning, and it started at a high market valuation and then in down, and it got dumped. So it's just, that was in my opinion, a bad explanation. Now, if ICP started at the bottom and then never went higher, that would make sense. However, that specific scenario of ICP was not a good one. Not at all. Not at all. Like that was piss poor.
Piss poor performance.
Piss poor. Piss poor.
For the first time, your upside potential is limited. And that's because of something called the law of large numbers, which is really the thing that.
And I think it's because he just saw it on the chart and didn't know the tokenomics behind it.
Yep. Didn't do his research.
There's a reason why Pulsechain didn't start with liquidity 1,000x from where we are at now. Why? I'm dumping. I'm taking profit. Aren't you? Wouldn't you take profit if you had 1,000x right off the start? And that is the difference between the scenarios. So this is prime example.
Are you going to take profit out of 1,000x?
I'm taking profit before 1,000x. It's that simple. You probably should. But that doesn't mean I'm selling my whole bag.
Not even close.
Not even close to selling my whole bag. But I mean, it's just that's what I mean. Like, I leave some for the big numbers, because man, wouldn't it, the difference between 1,000x and let's just say a 10,000x is massive. It's huge. It's huge. If I have $1,000, which the average sacrificer did, and I 1,000x that's literally $1 million. You take that same $1,000 and 10,000x that's a lot more. That's 10 times more. Would you rather have $1 million and then take taxes out? Guess what? You're no longer a millionaire. If you take $10 million and you take the taxes out, you're sitting way more times a millionaire. It is a big, massive difference. So I will take profit out of it, but I will not sell that whole bag, especially at a 10x like he's trying to get people to do.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. Like, you need to de-risk at some point, just where you can pull out your initial plus a little bit above that, say no matter what, if the project goes to zero, you feel good. Like, you're not going to feel good, but you're going to be like, hey, I won. Green is green, even if it's just a little bit. So, but
it makes you feel good too. That's the number one thing. And once you take that initial profit, you take the emotions out, you feel good. I'm great. I might be able to live like a rock star for the next year or two. And in that next year or two, it's still going way higher. You feel real good after that. Super good.
You feel good. And then not only you're not checking the chart, freaking out like, dude, I'm going to get wrecked. I got to watch it. And you can live your life. And also, you're going to feel a lot better too, is if you leave that moon bag, if you leave that 50% bag, if you leave a big portion of that, and this thing does a 10,000x. It does a 14,000x.
Thank you, Z, for the $50 chat. We do appreciate that. Detail Retail front running the BTC halving and top at 80K. The cycle is true runs. What is it?
It says where?
Truncated. How does that play out? Reply, Pulse, and will there then be a second top later prolonged cycle? Sami's warning.
Sami's warning.
Sami's warning. Yes, that is very possible. However, I do think that
I
top
hate
will
that
come
scenario.
years and years later. Here's the thing: if Bitcoin comes at $80,000 Bitcoin, front running the halving, Pulse is going to be way higher. Way higher. Maybe a 10x, maybe a 50x, maybe a 100x. And everybody is going to be loving that. But have a plan. Have a plan. That is very possible, especially with all the ETFs being approved and all that stuff. Very possible. Do I think it plays that way? Not this cycle. That would be something different. That's when I would be slightly wrong, because never in the history of crypto did we create a new all-time high before the halving. So chances of that happening are slim based off of history,
But not none.
but I'm not going to say zero. So if it happens, just have a plan if it happens, and have a plan if it doesn't happen. Only you can come up with that plan. So good question.
Yeah, shout out to Z.
you.
We appreciate the donation. It really helps us keep the channel going, and appreciate that.
Here we go. ICP, Coinbase, and Uber, to mention a few, screwed everyone. The VCs dumped immediately after open to public, and they never recovered. Lesson learned, shame on them. Absolutely. That's exactly what happened. Doesn't recover. They dump right from the beginning. You never had a chance to go higher. As soon as I see a coin that's in the top 10, you better start taking profits. I did it with SHIB. People should have did it with Hex and every other coin based off the law of meme coins. You better watch that video if you haven't seen it, because it explains that. Once you go into the top 10, chances of you going back into it are slim to none. And let's see where ICP is at now. ICP was in the top 10. It is now ranked 32.
Insane Clown Posse.
So I do not think you will ever see it. And you saw it right off the bat. And all those people, all they did was just take those profits. So let's move on with them.
That you're describing here, it has nothing to do with the number of cycles that you've been through. It has to do with how large you are compared to the total addressable market of the kind of broader economy.
Based off of what he says, right now, as we sit, a 10x would put us number 8 in crypto market. Right now, $10 billion market cap.
What are you saying?
So
you
a
kind
10
of got quiet.
a $10 billion market cap would put us at a number 8, the number 8 position.
Just a 10 billion, a 10x.
A 10x.
What is the true market cap of Pulse?
1 billion.
Okay. At 0.0001, that's a 1 billion.
Yes, a 1 billion.
Okay.
So
All
at 10x right now will put us at number 8. So right now we're the number 4 decentralized on dexes, just dex alone, not sexes or not centralized exchanges, just straight up decentralized exchanges. We're number 4 traded. So we're ahead of Cardano. We're ahead of Solana. And they're sitting at number 10 and number 8 ranked. So we actually should be at $10 billion market cap. That's fair valuation, in my opinion. He's saying, I know we're higher traded and we're valued higher, we're valued lower. So we're actually undervalued right now. And we go about that in a little bit, when you start talking. So just wanted to get that out there.
So Bitcoin was able to do these million X returns because it started at, basically worthless. Hex was able to do the 10,000 X return, not from its first price that it did on the day one of the adoption amplifier, but from the bottom that it did after falling, 97% or something like that.
By the way, you ready for this? Bitcoin did not start out worthless. Bitcoin started out about a $1.5 billion market cap when everything started to get indexed. Well, that's not true either. That's not true. It was pretty much worthless. Yeah, he's right on that. So reverse that when I came back. Because Bitcoin really didn't start getting indexed till when I kind of came in as far as charting goes, as far as what you could look at, like Coin Market Cap, CoinGecko. And let's look at Coin Market Cap. See if I can see what Bitcoin was when it first came out. They probably don't have it either. I'm willing to bet. Yeah, they do. Wow. 256,000 market cap. Can y'all believe that?
How much?
206,000 market cap in 2010.
Wow. Could you imagine?
At 6 cents, it was a 200,000 market cap.
We all got the story of Bitcoin, and this is mine. I'll keep it really quick. If you watched my story with Corey yesterday, you should go check it out. It's kind of a little testimony of my life, which most people in crypto don't know. But I was, selling drugs at the time, getting pills, XC pills shipped over from Canada over to Colorado, hitting the rave scene. It was when rave scenes were blowing up. They were basically mailing it to me. Then they brought down, and we were Western Unioning the money back. And the guy hit me up and he goes, "Hey man, buy this thing called Bitcoin. It's like a stock. It goes up and down, and you can just send it to me. And you can buy it with like Western Union." It was so weird.
You was on that. That's because you was in the
drug.
That's how it started. That's
I know.
How it really got popularity.
It was all on the black web. And guess how much Bitcoin was at the time? It was 14 cents. And I was like, nah, bro, just send someone down. I'll give them cash. And I could have been sending Bitcoin. Who knows? Maybe I could have bought $50 worth and forgot about it. Anyways, everyone's got that story, but
check into Cope Hotel, bro. Yeah, like
coping. Anyways, at least I wasn't like that one guy. He had like thousands of Bitcoin and he couldn't figure out his password, and he's got one more try. And he's been doing like hypnosis and all this stuff to try to, or it's going to lock him out forever.
Yeah.
So anyways, keep it
moving. The first 30 days, right? That's where it did the 10,000x. It still hasn't even done a 10,000x from the day one adoption amplifier. It's actually underperformed Ethereum over that period, depending on how you look at it.
We're gonna take a little break today. I'm just gonna make a real quick ape of the day. No financial advice, anything like that. But I'm just gonna stay here. There is a 2.0 coin that is mooning. Now, I don't know anything about it. I didn't do my research.
Bro, we haven't had an ape of the day.
But
minute.
Leash 2.0, 300,000 market cap is kind of going. So don't go crazy. Don't be these 2.0 coins I think is coming to an end. But right now, SHIB 2.0 is just killing it. In the rankings, and it looks like it wants to go to the next spot up, but I do think Leash 2.0 might go there too, as possible. So I just wanted to let y'all know that.
And also preferencing saying there are so many scams coming out on ETH right now. It's crazy. And honestly, I think eventually it's going to drive more people to Pulsechain because there are also scams there, but less. And just please, guys, follow the laws of meme coins. 3 to 5x. Even
any of these coins lately, like it's been crazy lately. Crazy. Follow the laws of meme coins.
We vaped in 2 scams and a honeypot in the past couple of days. Like fully transparent, guys. Like
yes, very like it is what it is. Like that's the market that we're playing in nowadays. So you gotta be careful. But this thing is kind of like trading back and forth. And I think what's happening is there was a bot that bought a lot of supply. And I can see that it's selling off as we're going through this, and I do think that's what's happening on a lot of these coins. And sometimes the dev just gives up and it's like, forget it, I can't deal with these bots anymore. And just
Bots are back, and we gotta put an end to Jared from Subway somehow, some way.
All right, let's get back to this. Do not leave the stream. I saw 10 of y'all decide to leave the stream. Don't leave the stream. Just open a damn tab up and check it while you're listening. Like that. Y'all just gonna leave the stream. And at least if you're gonna leave, hit the like button before you leave. Don't be over here just leaving the stream. I'll give you some alpha. That might not even be alpha. This shit might like just
it's an eighth of the day, guys.
You left a great stream, hilarious stream for an 8. Leave. All right, let's back to paid program. That's not paid, by the way.
Look at it. So that's what actually matters the most in this, in terms of what are the limits of these returns. So I think your instinct is right in the sense that you recognize that as time goes by, it gets harder and harder for these successful things to keep going up, right? I think you agree with that, but
who's the next victim?
So you are right about as the price go up higher and higher, it is less. So this next comment has to be good because he said basically it has nothing to matter about the cycles of going up.
It's not about the number of cycles. That's actually irrelevant. If you start off at $1 billion valuation, the odds of you getting to $1 trillion valuation, are relatively small, and it's just a lot harder to go there.
He is slightly correct, so I will give him props on this. It is slightly correct as he says that. It is harder to do because it does take more money to do that. However, I have seen it many times. Coins go from, let's see where we're at, ranked realistically. I have seen many coins in my time period go from a number 41 position into the top 5. I've seen it many times in crypto. Watch the laws of meme coins. So that in itself is kind of a false statement to say it's a lot smaller chance. It is harder to push it, but it happens every single cycle.
So that's one kind of major limiting factor for something like Pulsechain that starts off at roughly $1 billion valuation. So you have to kind of think about what does success look like for a coin that's already at a $200 billion valuation like Ethereum, right? Success for Ethereum, and I think here's where we agree, is maybe a 5x over 3 years. Like that's actually a really amazing result.
All right, now let's just talk numbers. Right now, Ethereum is a $225 billion market cap. A 5x, yeah, that's a success. Pulsechain, $1 billion market cap. So right now, Pulsechain is 225 times less than Pulsechain. For Ethereum, a 5x is a success. But even though Pulsechain is a $1 billion market cap, a 10x is a success. No. What do you think of that? No. Just the numbers don't add up.
10 billion with the burning and the hype and the marketing and Richard Hart. Come on.
No.
Keep it going.
Like it's not even. No.
And I think we'd all be very happy with that.
No, not me.
We wouldn't.
Now, what does success look like for something like Pulsechain? That's trading at a it's worth maybe 1/200th of that, right? Well, I think if we can catch up to Ethereum while Ethereum grows, that's obviously what we all want. But that's probably one of the severely limiting factors for us, right? So that's why we're not going to do a 10,000x. But we could do 100x in a really good, if things go really well, right? And that would have us be kind of similar to what Ethereum is in size 2-3 years from now, right? That would be a very nice scenario. But we're never going to do a 10,000x when effectively we're a vampire attack of Ethereum. It's going to be basically next to impossible to get there, because that would mean that we'd have $1 trillion valuation for Pulsechain. That the odds of that are very, very, very small. So it's possible, but it's small, very small.
So here's my rebuttal to your scenario based off of what we actually agree on. You are saying just because we start off a $1 billion market cap, that's just too high. And that's where I would disagree. We could also say that because we've already started with an actual community and did not build that community in X's, which is what you say with how Hex did and how Ethereum did and how Bitcoin did, I'll accept that as an answer because there's already a community, there's already a high market cap. Well, wouldn't you say that would just eliminate a first cycle?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, we've already skipped the first cycle with Pulse.
Okay. Yeah, so we agree. We agree on that. We agree on that.
Yep.
So that second cycle, in my opinion, the gains aren't going to be as crazy, but we have to look at it as what does it go up from there. So a $1 billion market cap for a layer one is a joke. We can both agree to that, right?
Sure. Yeah, and
Okay.
so let's look at the comparables there. So BSC.
All right, this is where I think I gave him the line and sucked them in. So this was the trap.
Is that where you
that
set the hook?
I set the hook right there, and he took it. He took it, and I was like, yes. Because I told him we got to compare it. And so I knew where he was going to go with that, and I knew he was going to start comparing it to BSC and Solana. And the problem was, and during my part, I'm going to fast forward, so I'm going to talk about it before it happened. The problem is he has never looked at the market cap of Solana and Binance at the top of the last cycle. And that's where he kind of goes wrong. He talks about we can go with Binance, we can go with Solana, we can hang out where they're at. Well, I don't think they're just going to stay still as Ethereum and the whole market goes up and nothing else goes up. The market goes together. They're all in a line with each other. So on average, they do a 3.5x over their all-time high. And that's more gains, and that shows that it's still going higher. So you're going to hear me talk about, well, if you really think we're in a line with them, then that's way more than 100x just to be hanging out with them. And we're already beating them as far as DEX transaction goes. So it's only going to get better, in my opinion. And that's where the history, you got to know the history of crypto and what it does. Even if we hang out with Solana and hang out with Binance, that in itself is over 100x, well over 100x. Why? Because Solana, here we go. At the top of Solana's market cap, at the top of the market, Solana topped out at a $77 billion market cap. So if Solana stays where it's at and goes with the market, and $3 more trillion go into the market, some of that is going to go into Solana, which increases that total market cap higher. What I've noticed on average, based off of history, is a 3.5x times higher. So if we land with Solana, 77 times 3.5 is a $270 billion market cap. That would equate to a 270x of Pulsechain if we're hanging with Solana. However, there is burning being done during all that. So what a 270x is now won't be a 270x in price later, because the circulating supply is getting depleted every single transaction. We have 2 to 3 years to make that circulating supply lower. So how do you get the market cap? You multiply the price times the circulating supply. That gets you the market cap. So right now, as we sit, if Solana does the 3.5x over, it's a 270x as we sit. But all those transactions taking it down, that might take it to a 300x, a 300 or a 350x. We don't know what all that burning is going to be doing, what it does to the circulating supply, and that means as the price is going up, it actually can go higher, and the market cap won't be as high as it would be today. You have to look at the future. You got to look at the tokenomics, and you have to look at the history to come with an analysis of what is actually going to happen. Anything on that, Ian? Or
No, I mean, we've been straightforward. We've been beating the drum of, guys, it's not just has to go up to $1 trillion market cap to get a 10,000x. There's burning. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
That you have all these people coming over from the east side to sell their PRC20 tokens. Burning. You got does he still have the validators burning, or did that stop?
That, and he stopped that and gave it to the community.
Okay.
That would have been massive. That would have been stupid. Like, I wish he would have kept that going until people were complaining, or if he saw numbers of validators going down. That's what I would have done. I would have kept it going, because if everyone was happy with it and the numbers kept increasing and doing what it was doing, like, that would have been huge. But he just did it right from the beginning, and I wish he would have just play it out a little bit. Let the burning continue, play it out, see what happens. And then if you got the validators complaining, then do it. I think he kind of a little
jumped the gun, but there's still probably something up his sleeve. Who knows?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. There's 670 million chilling. There's a lot that can happen, bro.
That's a lot of money.
So let's get this thing. We can probably do another.
Is what, 50 billion?
What's out?
I might have another 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I got about another 20.
Okay, so we're just gonna go
top of the market.
I'm talking about right now, but yeah, like good point. Yeah, like it was probably 4 times that, right? When things were good.
So he said 4 times that when things were good. No, it was, and this is not to just click on Buck because he didn't have the information right there. I'm just giving it right now. It was 8.5 times that. So what Solana is now is 8.5x lower, so 8.5x higher. And I'm saying instead of 8.5x, it'll be another like 30, 40x from here, which is very possible if it stays where it's at.
I think Pulsechain to compete with BSC is realistically.
Woo! We was just talking about Solana. He went with BSC. Those numbers are even bigger. So let's talk about BSC. BSC right now is a $38 billion market cap. BSC at the height was $110 billion market cap. So if it stays and goes and doesn't create a new all-time high, there's 100x. If it does a 3.5x times its all-time high, that's a 350x. So these numbers, I'm just saying, you're going to see me Trap.
like a very good upside scenario for us,
Bringing them on in.
right? Like I don't think we're gonna kill Ethereum.
Right now, I'm thinking this is so easy. I'm shaking my head at this point because I'm like, this is easy.
To be honest, but if we can have as much market share as BSC, that would be looked at as a massive triumph, I think, by everybody in the market. All the Richard skeptics would have to look at that and go, wow, that's actually pretty impressive.
See, I was going somewhere different with this, bro.
Sure. Go somewhere different.
What I was saying is that previous community went to a $60 billion market cap in its first cycle. When Hex did his 10,000x, what was the market cap of Hex when it did that?
It depends on how you calculate it. Yeah, it was
about 50. That was about $16 billion market cap. I just wanted to hear him say
it was billions of dollars. That's for sure.
Let's just average at a $50 billion market cap. So all that supply has been taken out and given the Hex or given the Pulsechain investors, pretty much, as you could say, and other coins was able to do that. They took that, and 90% of that goes to a certain organization that does not sell. So, on average, and I have gone over the history of this since 2019, there are a select few coins that has done over a 3.5x over their previous all-time high. Very select. I can look at it and say it was BNB, Cardano. Very few coins. Dogecoin is one of them also. That past their second cycle did more than a 3.5x over their all-time high. Most coins die and do not get back to their all-time high. That's just a fact in crypto. The ones that are here to stay does a 3.5x on average on their second cycle to their all-time high. So Hex went to a $50 billion market cap. That was taken out of circulation and put into Pulsechain. A lot of that Hex was put into Pulsechain. And then that 90% of that Pulsechain will likely, based off of history, not sell. So if we are in our second cycle, you're talking a 3.5x over the $50 billion market cap.
If you think Hex is here to stay and do better and have more people coming into it than it was the previous cycle. So that is a cap that I have to put on that comment. But I think everyone in this community believes that, and they think it's going to a higher high. And I think Richard Hart believes that also. So with that belief, we have to assume that it's going to be one of those that stay and do a 3.5x over its previous all-time high minimum.
It's very, very, very likely based off of history in crypto. I just shorthanded it and say it won't happen and said 100x is my minimum. There's more tokenomics to that. We also have a burning mechanism. So we are burning more than we are inflating. So therefore we are decreasing circulating supply to be able to get to that faster. What we've seen in the last 3 months is actually pretty good. But what we haven't seen is what nobody's actually talking about. For example, Pepe. We are actually getting to the Ethereum side of Pepe, and people are actually selling their coins. So we're seeing people with 55 E-cells, 35 E-cells, like lots of money, billions of dollars, or hundreds of millions of dollars going out of the system. That's why you're seeing more money leave the system than the money that's coming in. It's mainly because people are doing their job and getting people from Ethereum to dump their money. But what does that do? There is so many coins that are needed to be dumped for value. When you look at the top coin on DeFi Llama, LDO, there's $14 billion locked up in LDO. That's the number one coin in TBL. And you go down the list of hundreds of millions and billions of dollars that needs to be, granted their free money. And what is that going to do? That is going to burn the shit out of PulseX and Pulsechain over time, which will allow us to get to those numbers that I'm talking about. So we might not see it now. It might look really bad, like we're not going anywhere, but it's like a slingshot. And what's going to happen is burning from all those people just taking their money. I would say probably 80% of people right now are the know-it-alls. They know everything. So they're going to sit there and take their money and bring it over to ETH. The know-it-alls are going to lose out, but they're helping us achieve our goals to be able to get to those numbers. What you're not seeing is you're seeing a circulating supply of 135 billion, but you're not seeing the gains theory of people selling their coins to go back out to ETH twice, not one time, but twice of amount that will.
So what that means, when I said twice, not one time, you have to sell your, like say I got Pepe and I took out 50 ETH in Pepe. That transaction right there is burning. Then when I go to the fork and fork that transaction right there and fork it back over to ETH, that transaction right there is burning. So it's not once, it's actually twice that's happening. That's what I meant by that.
That will be burning Pulsechain and PulseX, which allows the circulating supply to go down. It won't go down very fast, but over time, within the next 3 years, it will be a massive slingshot. You could see a chart similar to Polygon that literally just stays flat for a long time while burning is happening, and then you'll see a slingshot that just goes crazy. In my opinion, that's how this plays out.
Nice. I mean, what do you think, Matic?
Man, he was so blown away by that comment. He said, nice. So now he's like blown away by the comment. He's like, man, I just got hit with a ton of rocks right there. Nice. So then we start talking about other coins and comparing other coins. So I think he's starting to kind of agree with it, but he won't let go of his position of how he thinks. But I think right now I'm starting to get him to realize that it's going to be more than what you think it's going to be, based off of tokenomics and based off of history, I think.
Yeah, you definitely saw a little turning point in his thinking. However, he did stick to his guns when he did recaps, but who knows, man? Maybe he's going to adjust his cash out position, because I think we know where it's at.
And BSC and these other things do in the next cycle, just out of curiosity, on average?
No more than a 2.5 to 3.5x past their all-time high. Why? I don't know. I just go off of history. Is you can go off of history and look for. You can go on coin. Best way to do it, go on CoinMarketCap, and then just look at the history of all the coins. It gives you by week, and that's what they do. A 3.5x over the all-time high.
Right.
So what that shows me is whether it's the big boys doing it, whether that's the adoption curve of crypto, I don't know what it is, but that's what happens. And it goes cycles after cycles after cycles. Those numbers line up, and that you can backtest yourself and prove that what I'm saying is correct. So if we are in our first cycle and we saw Hex go to a $50 billion market cap, that's why you see my top when I call it top, and people ask me, what do you think the top of Hex will be? I say $1.82. Because all I did was take the high and I multiplied it by 3.5x.
Right. Well,
so if you think Pulsechain is going to sit at a $10 billion market cap, while Hex goes to $180 billion market cap, you're crazy, bro.
That was the next thing is Hex goes and just goes by itself, which is P-Hex, which is on Pulsechain. And if you think Hex is going to go to, higher numbers and only do a 10x from here, I mean, since we got off the stream, I think we've done a 2x.
From what?
You think Pulsechain's good from when we were talking?
Pulsechain?
Yeah, PX did, I think, a 2x.
Oh, PX, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it did a 3.
Yeah, so right then and there, like if you think PX is going to be so much more and you're just going to let Pulsechain sit where it's like, nah, bro, nah. It just doesn't add up. The numbers don't add up. And that's why I think he's missing out on that math. The moon math. It's moon math, yes it is, but it adds up.
So I mean, I think the key thing here is you're looking at the past returns to give you some sort of indicator of what the future does.
All right, I gotta stop right here because we know what he's going to say. No, just because it did it in the past does not mean it's going to do it in the future. However, the way people think is the same pretty much every time. And that's why you have 4-year cycles. That's why you have people getting wrecked every cycle. And that's why you have people winning every cycle. So, like, what happens is there's going to be a new group of people that did what you did previous cycle. You got wrecked last cycle, maybe, or maybe 2 cycles ago you got wrecked. Well, guess what? There is a new group of people, $3 trillion worth of those people that's going to get wrecked. Michael Saylor got wrecked. He was the one buying Bitcoin the most at the top. Wrecked. So you got $3 trillion worth of people that's going to get wrecked. And we are going to win from that because we were here in the previous cycle and we know what's going on. We know how it's done. And these people are going to see this stream a little too late, maybe when they're doing research and realize why they got wrecked. And then they say, oh, now I see. And if the market keeps going, which I don't know if it does, but if it does, there's going to be, them people are going to be like, all right, now I know what's going on. And then there's going to be another group of people that come in that gets wrecked. It's the same cycle. It's the same stuff. So it doesn't have to do exactly what it does. Bitcoin does the same cycle every single 4 years. You know what the difference is? The way it tops, the way it bottoms. However, the X's and the cycles and the adoption curve has remained the same.
And that has issues with it, right? So in reality, all the coins that you're talking about are actually in the same cycle, right? There isn't one that's in a first cycle and one that's in a third cycle. They're all participating in the same cycle, but they have different rates of growth. Is the reality, right? The ones that are more mature, it's harder for them to continue to expand in value as much as they did in previous cycles because they're already very valuable. And that describes.
He just said that it's the same cycle, but
well, he's correct because it's the same cycle, but Pulsechain is in its first cycle, but Ethereum is in its third, fourth cycle. So, like, I know that already. Like we've already discussed that. So he's kind of not going anywhere with this part. With this actual prediction.
It describes XRP. It describes Matic. It describes all these things, right? They're all actually participating in the same cycle. Right.
He's repeating.
Now, to the extent that your thing about usually they don't do that much more than their prior highs. I mean that could be true, but that's not why that's happening, right?
There's a select few though. When I say a select few, that's a select few that were able to get people to extend their community. Dogecoin's one of them. So that's why you're not seeing that. Elon Musk picked up Dogecoin, and therefore Dogecoin just went to even crazier levels in its prior cycles. That makes sense. Bitcoin, same way. But when you talk about all these other coins, your Matics, your AVAXs, or that, they're not doing what they need to do to get by. They're just doing what they need to get by. Main reason is because, the private investors don't really need to. They're already up. They just need the regular, Bitcoin pump, and they get 3.5x plus their IC price from already low. So they have no incentive to do that. I think Hex and Pulsechain and the Richard Heart community is completely different from them, and that's why I separate that.
Yeah,
I'm not even really separating them. I'm putting them on.
Well, I was going to say we're not different though. We're not different though. Like we're definitely part of the same thing, which is we're risk assets in crypto, right? And Pulse is an EVM chain, right? So I think you want to compare everything as a benchmark to Ethereum, in my opinion, for that reason, because Ethereum is sort of the kind of common numeraire for everything, and it's easy to invest in. And if Ethereum is doing a 3x, then you really want to be compensated with what 10 times that for the risk of Pulsechain.
So he's comparing the 3x of Ethereum. So since Ethereum did a 3x, Pulsechain is good because it did a 10x. No. I keep saying Ethereum is a $225 billion market cap. Pulsechain's only a $1 billion market cap. So you can't say you did a 3x, so I'll do a 10x. It doesn't work that way. You do a 3x, you're sitting at a $1 trillion market cap. That means you've got a lot of growing to do, and you can grow up to those way higher numbers. That's the part where he's not getting.
For the risk
Well,
of,
you're looking at risk from a outsider's perspective, though, and I 100% like agree that you should do that when you're evaluating your funds and your money, no matter at what level you are at. Obviously, if you're at a higher level, you're going to value that way more because you don't want to, throw away all your money trying to go all in on one asset. But that's just not crypto. That's just not people in crypto. They're completely different ball game.
Well, they may disagree with, or they may not think my method works, but it does. It works for all assets. And
it does work. No, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying the typical person, and even person with money, a lot of crypto is new. A lot of crypto is new money.
Absolutely.
New money. So they don't think the way you're thinking because the way you're thinking is old money.
Yeah. Well, the way I'm thinking is, based off of math and hundreds of years of investment theory. So
what you're doing is you're bringing in traditional markets to a non-traditional space, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Based off of history, which is what you're saying. You're saying you're going off of history. I'm going off of history also, the history of the space that we are in. And I'm telling you, you can look it up for yourself. The numbers that I'm presenting to you is literally a cheat code, a non-cheat code. It's the biggest alpha you can be given in all of crypto. I just gave it out to everybody.
What your thing is more of like a rule of thumb, right? Than anything, right? It's an heuristic that kind of gives people a rough estimate, right? But it's not actually
the rough estimate actually hits it to the T. Every single cycle. Like, how do you explain that?
Yeah, I mean,
luck. Right, if it's luck, 1 is luck. I get you. 1 is luck. 2 is like, all right, bro, you're getting it. 3 is a trend.
But it's not it's not the causation. It's it might be a good heuristic, right? But it's not the reason why it happens. It's not because of this thing that you say matters, right?
He's starting to struggle a little bit. It don't matter what the reason is. It's doing it. Who cares? I don't read the news. I don't care about the news and why it's doing it. It's just doing it.
Right.
So go ahead. Finish.
Yeah. So I mean, like the reason most things don't ever take out their tops, again, is because they show up, they have their initial pump, they take their shot at the king, and they miss, and then they go off into obscurity. Most things,
which is
right. That's the average crypto, new crypto asset, right? And so and then you say, but a couple things magically get to the top, or they go do amazing things, right? That's called survivorship bias, right? So there's a couple things that every cycle will be proved to be the exception, right, to the rule, right? But in general, most things you'll see in crypto and elsewhere, they get hyped up, they take their shot, they miss, and then they fade into obscurity, right? You see this every day in meme coins, as a matter of fact, actually, which I think is a good place for us to go to as well, eventually. So that's why you see that sort of pattern again and again. It's not because it's a 3 times their prior thing like that. Like that's sort of just a rough estimate. That's an eyeball type
So
thing.
I won't give all my secrets away because I have some secrets that would make people's jaw drop. So I'm not going to give it away. But number one, why do you think there is a 4-year cycle, and why does the market go up and go down based off the 4-year cycle?
I don't think there's a 4-year cycle.
Wow. Oh man, you better reserve your Applebee's now.
I just had to switch uniforms real quick for that one. I gotta throw back to the old school B roots real quick, man. This might get cut up on YouTube. Did the dude just say there is no 4-year cycle?
Yes, he did.
I think we just ended there, bro.
All right, man. Yeah, look, we're hour 45 minutes into the stream. First off, 2 things. We need a part 2. Second off, we need another debate. That debate got insane views. It was very informative for the people. I think we need to do more debates on Twitter. We'll find more people. We'll debate it. You guys will get after it. And yeah, I think B-Roots, I think we need to have a part 2, man, because there's a lot more we need to unpack in this debate that you have with Buck. And I think we got to extend this. What do you guys think? Thursday? You guys down for this? In the chat, let's see what you guys think. Yeah, bro. They're all about it. Let's do this.
I can say one thing, man. I like Buck. Buck's my dude. I sacrifice for his projects. This stream isn't hating on Buck by any means. Buck is a very smart dude. We just got our disagreements. However, this isn't a stream to knock Buck or anything like that. He's in his ways. He's a traditional market guy. He is very successful at what he does. My man is just in my playground. That's the only difference. And the playground is a little different than that old traditional market stuff. So yeah, there is no 4-year cycle apparently. So even though he said, like I said in the beginning, I said, remember this. What do you think happens in the next 3-year cycle? So either way, that was a very good debate. If there is somebody out there that has the following, that has the cojones to think that they can go up against B Roots on everything or anything, I will look into it and give out a challenge. But I think B Roots slayed another man.
That's right, man. Well, let's do part 2 Thursday, guys. Tomorrow's Shill Tank, 12:30 Eastern. Let's find some good Pulsechain projects, maybe some ETH project. Let's get down. Check out the interview I did with Corey. It was lit. And we'll see you guys on Thursday for part 2. But don't miss Shill Tank tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern. See you guys.
So for those of you who want to make that change, you need some crypto to help you to make that green. Yo, they got to let your crypto king, showing you how to invest and live your dreams. So for those of you who want to make that change, you need some crypto to help you to